Shalom, shalom. I'm Officer Jabali with TTIC. I'm going to read the disclaimer. TTIC, also known as the Truth in Christ, is a Bible-based organization. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. We teach the Bible as it is written. We are not a hate group, nor do we teach violence. We do not condone any acts of hate or violence against any race, ethnicity, gender, and religious groups. We firmly believe in abiding by the laws of the city and state. If you witness any member of TTIC committing a crime, please contact us and the proper authorities.
Shalom, Most High. Shalom. Shalom, Most High. Christ bless. I'm Brother Martin, TTIC. Today's Sabbath class is What's Right to You, Part 2. Today's Sabbath class is What's Right to You, Part 2. If you did not get to check out Part 1, please go back and check out Part 1. A lot of interesting things on there. So check it out so you can get some knowledge. And then you can come back to Part 2. Part 2, we're going to start off with Deuteronomy 28. And we're going to start with verse 60.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 60. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee.
Read.
Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, then will the Lord bring upon thee, until thou be assured.
Now, the reason why I started right here is, for you brothers and sisters, the reason why I started right here is to let y'all know that the sicknesses, the plagues that God's bringing upon the world, these diseases, right? What happens is, like, the corona came in, right? That's a plague. That's a disease, right? But then you always have someone who tries to, what's I'm trying to get? They try to, give me the definition that I asked you for. They try to distract you. Watch this. This is the definition of distraction.
Distraction. A thing that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else. A diversion or reaction. Extreme agitation of the mind or emotions.
So read it one more time.
A thing that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else.
See, so the distraction is, the disease come from God, but the distractions is that you try to take people's mind off these diseases. So it can be like, you know what? They don't exist no more. We cured them. But really they don't. They just don't put them in their media as much as they was at the time when it was out heavy. They don't put it in their media no more. You know, it's very seldom seen. And I'm going to give you an example. Give me Wave chapter 3. Wave 3.
Wave 3.
Yeah, Wave 3.
Wave3.com. HIV cases on the rise in Jefferson County.
So what date is that on there, officer?
Was published July 7th of 2021.
So it was just what, last week? July 7th. It was just published last week, right? Now listen up. Read it again, officer.
HIV cases on the rise in Jefferson County.
So in Jefferson County, AIDS is on the rise. So Corona was here. We forgot all about what? HIV. Everybody saying, oh, wear a mask, wear a mask, wear a mask. Everybody stop wearing rubbers. So you wear a mask and get naked. All right, where's the rubber? All right, I'm protect myself because I'm trying to protect myself from the corona. Watch this. Read.
Louisville, Kentucky. Wave. The number of HIV cases in Jefferson County is growing rapidly. According to experts at the Louisville Metro Board of Health's monthly meeting on Tuesday, HIV cases are increasing from 1 or 2 a month to 1 or 2 a week.
Read it again.
HIV cases are increasing from 1 or 2 a month to 1 or 2 a week.
Now, y'all see that, right? Now, give me, officer, give me the Bible. Give me the Hebrews. Give me, no, Hebrews. Give me James. I want James. James 4:4, please. Now watch this real quick. So y'all notice the AIDS is went from 1 to 2 a month to 1 or 2 a week. That's a big pickup. That's just here in Jefferson County. Watch this. Read what you got.
James 4, verse 4.
Come on.
Ye adulterers and adulteresses.
So you adulterers and adulteresses. That's someone, adulterer is someone who cheat on his wife. Adulteress is someone who cheat on her husband. Watch this.
Know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God?
See, that's you doing that. That means you're worldly. God is letting you know you're a worldly person. Watch this.
Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world,
If you do these, if you commit adultery and you're adulterer and adulteress, you are a friend of the world. Watch this.
is the enemy of God.
You are an enemy of God. Watch this.
Do ye think that the scripture saith in vain, the spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy?
That's all I want. That's all I want. So you're adulterers and adulteress. So God's letting you know to be an adulteress or adulteress, what happens to you? What will happen to you? Give me Leviticus also. Give me Leviticus chapter 20. And verse 10.
Leviticus 20 and verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife.
Stop. Now, this is talking about a man, but this goes for a woman as well. Who's the head of the man? I mean, who's the head of the woman? I'm sorry, the man. So this is don't say of the woman, but watch this. Read it again.
And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife.
With another man's wife. That means she's an adulteress.
Even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and adulteresses.
Okay, it says it.
Shall surely be put to death.
You see that thing right there? So you will surely be put to death. This law still exists right now today. Why? Why do this law still exist today? Let's read it one more time, officer. Just get it. Yes, sir.
Leviticus 20 and verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteresses shall surely be put to death.
The reason why I started here, because one thing y'all forget is this: in the world, as the corona was going on, and then once they thought the corona is gone, everybody started to have what? Whoopee. Whoopee with different what? People. And they forgot about, they was distracted from the AIDS. They don't forgot about the AIDS because the corona was fresh on their mind. So they forgot about them. Oh, she ain't got AIDS. She ain't got corona. That's all she worried about is she coughing. You ain't worried about if she got HIV or if she got AIDS. Oh, she ain't coughing. She's clean. Let's go. That was a distraction. Guess what I'm saying?
No, shalom.
Okay. From there, we're back to the HIV officer. Shalom, sis.
Yeah, real quick. Right after that corona, like we were saying, people was beginning to fornicate again. We also got to realize during the corona, a lot of people was also fornicating because they weren't able to go out to the club. So a lot of prostitution was rising up. You know what I'm saying? So these cases it's been in the form since COVID. It's been taking place.
There you go. All right, let's go back. HIV.
Louisville, Kentucky waived the number of HIV.
Start. Go ahead.
Okay, cases in Jefferson County is growing rapidly. According to the expert at the Louisville Metro Boards of Health monthly meeting on Tuesday, HIV cases are increasing from 1 or 2 a month to 1 or 2 a week, according to the board member, Dr. Karen Cost. The chief of immunology for Norton Healthcare, although increased testing may be driving the trend, Cost said it still is alarming. Dr. Paul Schultz, a system epidemiologist with Norton Healthcare, told Wave 3 News it's recommended all U.S. adults get tested for HIV. However, a year ago, the healthcare system noticed Most people weren't, especially those who are most at risk. In 2020, the healthcare system started testing every adult patient who visited the emergency department, unless they opt out. Since then, it tested 44,707 people and has found 139 positive HIV cases.
You see that thing right there? So, as time went on, as people were saying, okay, I'm not getting corona's not as frequently as it was. Now, people, like officer said, they was fornicating. People was getting these stimulus checks. They was buying women. And then you was taking it back to your what? Mate. So Leviticus 20 and 10, do it still exist today? Yes. Just because God ain't killing you flat out, back then you get stoned to death, right? But here, now you getting sore diseases put on you. Like AIDS, like syphilis, like herpes, like the blue waffle. Those diseases is coming upon you now, and you got distracted by the stimulus checks that made you. They said, "Look, we're gonna put something in this hand. Forget about what's in this hand." But what they forgot was all of this is done through God. All of it. The corona, the AIDS, all of it is done through God. And it's not over to God say it's over. It's not over to God Christ come back. One disease that was that y'all think slowed down, the old disease will pick up. And we got people out here foolish enough to run around in these streets to even mess with other men or other women to potentially bring something home back to your mate. Watch that thing. That's why I started off right here. I wanted to show y'all about the AIDS thing. Is it on the AIDS thing, officer?
Yeah, sure.
And see, all right, from there.
Yeah.
Huh?
You want to go all the way up? Is that good?
No, that's good. All right, so I just wanted to show y'all that. So on the next thing, give me the next clip, officer, which is Britain.
TheConversation.com. Britain is still failing to acknowledge the legacy of slavery. Memorializing its victims would be a start.
So now, do me a favor, officer. Type in, what I put in, what do British people look like? Type in that on your phone. What do British people look like? Everybody type it in on your phone. Watch this. I'm going to show y'all something. You're going to learn something today. Watch what it says. Type it in on your phone. What do British people look like? We ain't got our computer up yet, but it's coming. So I can't do it on this live class. I hit the arrow down right there. Yes, sir. Okay. You notice what you see on there? See what you see on there? You see Edomites. You see that? What do British? Now let's take it a little farther than that. No, British people are the European people, right? Where do the people from America come from? They're European. So they look just like the people over here, right? So they refuse to acknowledge what? Slavery. Let's read the title one more time, officer. Let's go back to it. I just want, if you get a chance, type in what British people look like. It's not no black folks popping up. It's not Chinese folks popping up. It's not none of that. It's the so-called white man's popping up. Read what you got.
Britain is still failing to acknowledge the legacy of slavery. Memorializing its victims will be a start.
Memorializing their victims will be a start. So they don't even want to be connected to that thing. Neither do what? America. But British British got what? They got a statue up with the slaves. They got a statue up with the slaves to remind their people that we're over those people. But they don't want to acknowledge that slavery happened. Come on. You got to remember, we ruled Europe during the Dark Ages, all the way to the 1400s, around 1453, which was the Renaissance era. When the white man returned back into power, right? So you got to remember, who did they conquer over in Europe? Us. What happened when they conquered us? Did they do us like the Greeks and the Romans did the Greeks, and just make them part of their nation? No, they put us in what? Slavery. You can go on the picture. They got a woman with a big buttocks in a zoo showing her off to people. Go ahead and read what you got, officer. Sometimes it goes in.
The sound of water flowing from the fountain that now stands towering in Tate Modern's Turbine Hall creates a calming softness in contrast to the cold, hard concrete floor on which I sit, trying to take the 13-meter tall monument before me.
So that's what they talked about right here. Is the monument that I was talking about with that they got in Britain. Is the slavery. They got they people and our people in chain. Come on.
The sculpture is both calming and distressing, presenting painful histories of the black Atlantic slave trade.
Hold on, it represents what?
It says, presenting painful histories of the black Atlantic slave trade.
So the black Atlantic slave trade happened there too. We had Israelite, because they already had us in slavery over there. Watch this, come on.
In the delightful, family-friendly setting of a public art museum. The characters of Venus, the Captain, and Queen Vicky stand or sit around the monument's plinth. A mother directs her...
They had a double day idols in there, did they? Go here, read what you got.
A mother directs her young son's gaze... direct her young son's gaze up to the water gently pouring down from above them. She does not point to the trunk of a tree planted on the side of the monument, where these characters do not rest. It is not so pretty, not so easy to delight in. It is a tree without life, no branches, no leaves, only ghostly bodies hanging from an empty noose. Painted on the Tribune Hall wall, the text for Kara Walker's sculpture.
So they had pictures of our people getting hung, right? They had pictures of our people getting hung, but they would not acknowledge about slavery. Go ahead.
It says, Franz Americanus calls visitors to gasp plaintively, sigh mournfully, and gaze knowingly at her recasting of the Victoria Memorial, which stands outside Buckingham Palace.
Come on.
This monument featured in my own undergraduate dissertation, in that I explored representation of black British women's history in London, urban landscape by walking the city. So
now, what it goes into is, I'm gonna stop right there. All right, what this is going into is Britain. They don't want to admit slavery happened. They don't want to admit it, that it happened there, and it did. Ain't no way around it. But what happens is our people see this thing right here. They be like, oh, see, they trying to make it go away. No, it's not trying to make it go away. The Bible is coming out, and people are embarrassed now. I mean, I was a slave master. I won't be affiliated with that. I'm not. You are affiliated with that. Ain't no way around it. Ain't no way around it. We're going to show you some other things as well. Now watch this. This is the last one. Be the last one also. Watch this.
NewsObserver.com.
NewsObserver.com. Watch this.
TMZ investigates UFOs, the Pentagon proof.
So this is, we're going into, they're going to explain to y'all about UFOs. Alright? So now they're going to, if you watch this show as it go on, they're going to explain to you that UFOs do exist. They're going to explain to you that they exist. All this time, they be trying to act like they don't exist. But watch this. Go ahead and read. Watch what you got. Read what you got.
In this 1 hour special, TMZ analyzes the U.S. government's official response to USO conversations from an investigative standpoint. The special will walk viewers through UFO footage, including a never-before-seen video of UFOs from the deck of a USS naval ship.
Stop. You notice that they're going to show y'all these things, right? But wow, they just waiting now to show you. If you were smart and you looked at the movies, you knew that these things exist. If you was any type of smart, you knew these things exist. But see, now they can't, the battle's coming out, so they cannot, they got to try to explain it their way. They got to give you they got to give you a story that fits their story of how it happened. Watch this. Read.
And speak with some of the people who experienced it firsthand. Interviews with future senators, military pilots, and Harvard scientists, former Pentagon officials, and 2 people who pushed the government to release information that has held secret for more than 70 years.
That was held secret for what?
More than 70 years.
Come on. I want y'all to remember that part right there. Read that part again. I was saying it was who did they have all gathered together? Read that part right there again.
It says interviews with future senators, military pilots,
come on,
and Harvard scientists, former Pentagon officials, and the 2 people who pushed the government to release information it has held secret for more than 7 years.
We're going to read this in the book of Daniel. The same thing right there, okay? We're going to read that in the book of Daniel. We're coming up to that in a little bit. But one thing I want to show y'all is this, that they got to go through their scientists and all that to explain, just like Daniel, like in the book of Daniel, where we're going to show you later on. And Daniel came and showed them exactly what it was. And that's exactly what we're going to do today as well. All right? Go ahead, read.
Discovery Channel will air a special on Wednesday. Read more about that here.
All right, so we're going to go to a little bit. We're going to go a little bit more into this. Watch this.
UFOs declassified live, 8 p.m. Discovery, science, travel. We cannot get enough of these UFO specials. Last night, TMZ tried to break it down. Tonight, Discovery airs a live 3-hour special hosted by Josh Gates of Expedition Unknown, in which a panel of experts unpacks and weighs in on the long-awaited Department of Defense and Office of the Director of National Intelligence report and identify flying objects recently released to Congress. Gates will question top experts, including NASA Administrator Bill Nelson, former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, former counselor to President Obama John Podesta, and retired Senator Intelligence Officer Bob Wallace. Other experts will include astrophysics Dr. Hakeem Alusia, physicist and astronomer Robert Warwick, former UK Ministry of Defense employee Nick Pope, and intelligence historian Keith Melton. Viewers will also hear from those who dedicated their careers to finding answers to the biggest mysteries, including the X-Files, creator Chris Carter, filmmaker and television director Barry Sonnenfeld, Men in Black, founding member of Blink 182, Tom DeLonge, investigative filmmaker Jeremy Corbell, and investigative reporter George Knapp. This will broadcast across the cable network Discovery Science and Travel.
So they're going to try to, you're going to have all these experts come on there, right? And they're going to try to break down the UFOs. They got live footage and everything of the UFOs. Why they didn't tell y'all about these before? All right. So now what we're going to do, we're going to get into the scriptures. Give me Ezekiel 1 and verse 16.
Ezekiel 1 and verse 16. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a barrel.
So now we're going to go into what the spaceships are. Go ahead, read.
The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a barrel. And they found, and they four had one likeness. And their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. When they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their wings, they were also so high that they were dreadful, and their wings were full of eyes round about them four. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them.
So wherever the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. Go ahead.
And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go. And their wheels were lifted up over against them.
So their wheels was lifted up against them. Come on.
For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheel.
So the spirit of the living creature was in the wheel. We talking about the UFOs right here. All right, we talking about the UFOs right here. Come on, read.
When those went, these went.
When those went, these went.
And when those stood, these stood.
Come on.
And when those were lifted up from the earth, their wheels were lifted up over against them.
Come on.
For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels.
So the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels, read.
And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was as the color of the terrible crystal, stretched forth over their heads above. And under the firmament were their wings straight, the one toward the other.
And under the firmament was their wings straight, one to another. Come on.
Every one had two, which covered on the side. And everyone had two, which covered on that side, their bodies.
Read.
And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of an host. When they stood, they let down their wings. And there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads when they stood, and had let down their wings. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness of the appearance of a man upon it.
So it was a man upon that throne. Okay? So we just explained to you, those UFOs was what? Was God's army. That is God's army. Everybody understand that? Give me, hold on real quick. Go to Ezekiel chapter 10, verse 1.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 10 and verse 1.
Read.
Then I looked, and behold, in the firmament that was above the head of the cherubims.
So in the firmament was above the head of the cherubims. The cherubims is the angels, and they was in the spaceships, in the so-called spaceships. Come on.
There appeared over them There appeared over them as it were a sapphire stone,
Come on.
as the appearance of the likeness of a throne.
It's the appearance of the likeness of the throne. Come on.
And he spake unto the man clothed with linen, and said, Go in between the wheels, even under the cherub,
You go into the wheels and run the cherub. Come on.
and fill thine hand with coals of fire from between the cherubims, and scatter them over the city. And he went in thy sight.
Read.
Now the cherubim stood on the right side of the house when the man went in, and a cloud filled the inner court.
Yeah, come on.
Then the glory of the Lord went up from the cherub, and stood over the threshold of the house. And the house was filled with a cloud, and the court was full of the brightness of the Lord's glory.
You see that? What you see right there. Read the next verse. Watch this.
Verse 5. And the sound of the cherubim's wings were heard even to the outer court,
Read.
as the voice of the Almighty God when he speaks.
So, what you see is the so-called spaceships. They go up, down, sideways like that. And they very, very what? Fast. Very fast. They are controlled by an angel. It is not no it's not no nobody with no more control. As Esau probably will see it back in the days. That was just somebody with a more control. No. These things is real. These things do exist. According to the what? The Bible. Give me John chapter 14, verse 9. Watch this. Let's see what we're gonna go into, and we're gonna see what Christ left the earth in. But first, give me John 14 and 9.
This is the book of John, chapter 14 and verse 9.
Because you remember at the end of Ezekiel, it says his face appeared as a man, right? Watch this.
John chapter 14 and verse 9. Jesus said unto him, Have I so long time with you, and yet hast thou not known me, Philip?
Read.
He that has seen me has seen the Father.
So he told Philip, he that has seen me has seen the Father. Read.
And how sayest thou then, Show us the Father?
Stop. So if you seen Christ looked just like who? He just looked just like his Father. So his Father looks like a what? Man. So it's not no woman in heaven. It's a what? Man. Watch this. Give me Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 1 and 3. So 2.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 1 and verse 2.
Come on.
Hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son,
That son,
whom he hath appointed heir of all things,
who look just like him.
by whom also he made the world,
Read.
who being the brightness of his glory,
Who's being the brightness of his glory.
and the express image,
And is the what?
and the express image,
You know how you put something in a copier and the copy copy the stuff? That's Christ look exactly like his what? The express image. If I put this book in a copier, I put the title of his book, the first page of his book in the copier, it's gonna come out looking just like this book. That's what Christ looked like. Go ahead, read.
of his person, and upholding
Of his what?
of his person,
Of his person, meaning of his face, exactly like he looked. Read.
and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high.
So he said on the right hand of God. All right. So from there, give me Acts chapter 1 verse 9.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 1 and verse 9. And when he had spoken these things,
So Christ was speaking to the apostles when he had spoke these things. Watch this.
while they beheld,
While they beheld me, while they looked at him,
he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight.
you see that, and the cloud received him out of their sight. Now let's see what these clouds are. Give me Psalms 104. Give me Psalms 104 and verse 3. Let's see what these clouds are.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 104, and verse 3.
Come on.
Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the water.
Who layeth the beam of his chambers in the water. Come on.
Who maketh the clouds his chariots.
See, God's clouds, that the chariots are the spaceships that is in the midst of the what? Clouds. These are chariots. All right, come on.
Who walketh upon the wings of the wind.
Who walking upon that? You remember when we was going through Ezekiel, it said the angel's wings was flapping? That's to explain what it was saying. From there, give me Acts chapter 1 and go back to verse 10 and 11.
The book of Acts, chapter 1, verse 10.
Read.
And while they looked steadfastly up.
While they looked up.
Excuse me. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven.
Towards heaven, watch this.
As he went up.
As he went what?
As he went up.
Read.
Behold, two men stood by them in white apparel.
Two angels came down in white apparel. Hold on real quick. Keep reading. Go.
Which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus which is taken up from you into heaven shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven.
So now what happened was the angels was right there, right? The angels came down, they was right there, right? Same thing, go to Matthew 28. Let's show you what happened. Let's see. So Christ went up and the angel came what? Down. And they asked him, hey, why y'all looking up? We're going to go back and read verse 11 in a minute. Matthew 28, 2.
The book of Matthew, chapter 28, verse 2.
Read.
And behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Lord descended from heaven.
So it was an earthquake because the angel of the Lord descended from heaven. Watch this.
And came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon it.
Come on.
His countenance was like lightning.
His countenance was like lightning, meaning he was real bright. Read.
And his raiment.
And his what?
And his raiment.
Read.
White as snow.
White as snow. Now let's go back to Acts. Let's go back to Acts. Y'all see that? His raiment was white as snow. Now let's go back to Acts 1 and verse 10.
Okay. The book of Acts, chapter 1 and verse 10.
Watch this.
And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel.
That's that same white apparel that the angel had when he rolled back the stone. That's the same apparel. Read.
Which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven.
Stop. Now, how did he go into heaven, y'all?
In a cloud.
In a cloud, which was called a what?
Chariot.
Chariot. So he said, now read that end point for me one more time, soldier.
Shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven.
So just like Christ went into heaven with the chariot, Christ is going to come back to heaven in the what? In the chariot. Everybody understand it? All right, come on. Give me Revelations 1 and 6, please.
The book of Revelations, chapter 1 and verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
And hath made us kings and priests unto God and his Father. To him be glory and domination forever and ever. Amen.
Be glory and dominion forever and ever. Come on.
Behold, he cometh with clouds.
Behold, he cometh with chariots.
And every eye shall see him. And they also which pierced him. And all kindreds of the earth shall dwell because of him. Even so, amen.
So when Christ come back, he's going to come with what? Clouds. He's going to come with chariots when he comes back. And they also which pierced him, who pierced him? What are y'all soldiers? Who pierced him?
The Romans.
Our priests. The Romans pierced him. So when you look up Romans, somebody Google Romans for me. Romans. Google Romans. What color people you get?
White.
Huh?
Edomites.
Edomites. What color we call them here?
White people.
White people. That's the same European people. That was the same European people. That's the same people that is in what? America. Oh, wow. We discovered something today. We discovered something today. So the Romans, it was spiritual. He said they was going to be here today. You know why I'm saying this? Because you got ignorant Israelites that says the Edomites are not alive no more. You have some ignorant Edomites, and the Edomites will tell you we don't exist no more. They'll tell you that too. No, you still here because Christ says you was gonna be here. All right, remember. Give me a verse. Give me Revelation 19 and 11. I want 11 through 14.
The book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 11.
Watch this.
And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True.
So he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. Watch this.
And in righteousness he doth judge.
In God's laws do he judge
and make war.
And make war. So now that's very important, brothers and sisters. And some of y'all, I know some of our people, they stuck on God loves everybody. Everybody can get saved. How many of y'all heard that in here from y'all family members? Anybody? All right. So now let's examine that real quick. All right. Read it one more time for me, Soldier Herman. Read it just a little bit louder for me, sir. I want it to be clear to them when they hear it, please.
The book of Revelation, chapter 19 and verse 11.
Watch this.
And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war.
Stop. So in righteousness, in God's laws, he do judge, right? Now, give me Psalms chapter 147, verse 19.
The book of Psalms, chapter 147 and verse 19.
Now watch this.
He showeth his word unto Jacob.
So he showeth his word unto Jacob. His word is Isaiah 8 and 20. That's the law. He showeth his law unto Jacob. Watch this.
His statutes and judgments unto Israel.
His statutes, his sub statutes with the law, like thou cannot be. I'm gonna give you an example. It says thou shalt not be an adulterer, right? That means if you go sleep with a dog, you still in what? You see what I mean? It don't mean that you can go sleep with a cat, a dog, a zebra, and not be an adulterer. You still an adulterer. Adulterer. I can't get it out. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It's still the same thing. Porn. All that. So, watch this. Read it again.
He showeth his word unto Jacob.
He showed his law unto Jacob.
His statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
His statutes and his judgments. So he showed us the sub-statutes along with what? Along with the judgment for breaking the law. Like when we went to Leviticus 20 and 10 about the adulterers and adulteress. They surely should be put to what? Death. That's why we went to the law. Watch this. Read.
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
I thought everybody got God's laws.
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
He not dealt so with any nation. Watch this.
And as for his judgment,
for breaking his laws,
they have not known them.
Because they're going to get theirs at the end. Read.
Praise you the Lord.
All praises of the Most High for that. We taking our punishment now. They're going to take theirs at the end.
That's right.
Give me Romans chapter 3 verse 1, please. Now I'm going to show you why I went to Psalms 147, 19 and 20. Now, this is going to show you why I went there. Pay attention, brothers and sisters. Read.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Come on.
What advantage then hath the Jews?
So what advantage then has the Jews? Come on.
Or what profit is there of circumcision?
Read.
Much every way.
Much every way.
Chiefly.
What?
Chiefly.
What?
Chiefly.
Why? Come on.
Because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
See, to them was committed the oracles. I know some of y'all don't know what oracle means, so we're going to take you to it. Give me Ecclesiastes chapter 33 and verse 3. We're going to show you what the oracle means. The Bible is read precept upon precept. You will look up oracle, and it might be a definition. The first definition might not even be what it be talking about, and you will put that first definition onto what you think it means. No, that's why you got to come with some learned brothers. Read what you got.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 33 and verse 3.
Come on.
A man of understanding trusteth in the law.
A man of understanding trusted in the law. Watch this. Remember, trusted in the law, and it's what?
And the law is faithful unto him, as an oracle.
See, the law is an oracle. So now let's go back. Let's go back. Romans chapter 3, verse 1. So the oracle adds up to God's what? Law. Now watch, that's what it means. Read.
Romans chapter 3 and verse 1. What advantage then hath the Jew?
What advantage did have the Jews?
Or what profit is there of circumcision?
Read.
Much every way.
Why?
Chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
See, we was committed the laws. That's the advantage that we have. That's the advantage. So when we go back to Revelations 19, hold on, no. Give me Acts 1 and 6. One more time. Give me Acts 1 and 6, because I want to cover righteousness before I go any farther. Let's cover righteousness. Watch this.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 1 and verse 6.
Come on.
Then, when they therefore would come together, they asked him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore?
No, what I want. Is it? Hold on, it's 1. It's 1. I just gotta get that. Acts 1 and you're right, it ain't Acts. Hold on real quick. Gosh, right. I want the one where it says that name is Luke 1. Luke 1, man, I'm tripping. Luke 1. I'm sorry, guys. Luke 1 and 6. The Acts is in my head. Luke 1 and 6. Come on.
The book of Luke, chapter 1 and verse 6.
Read.
And they were both righteous before God.
Zechariah and his wife was what?
Both righteous before God.
Read.
Walking in all the commandments and the ordinance of the Lord. Blameless.
Blameless. So now we got righteousness, right? So we was walking in God's laws blameless. Everybody got that, right? Now let's tackle Revelations 11. 19 and 11. Let's tackle it now.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 19 and verse 11.
Come on.
And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True.
Read.
And in righteousness.
And in God's laws,
he doth judge and make war.
They do judge and make war. Who's the only one that he's judging in God's laws right there?
The rest of the nation?
No. He's going to judge us. Well, who's going to get judged first?
Oh, we are.
We're going to get judged first. Then the nation's going to get theirs at the what? End. Right now, we getting what? Judged. Alright? So, it says, go ahead, read verse 12.
Verse 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire.
His eyes is as a flame of fire. Watch this.
And on his head he wore many crowns.
And on his head were many crowns.
And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself.
Read.
And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood.
Come on.
And his name is called the Word of God.
The law of God. And his name was called the law of God. Let's say it again. And his name is called the law of God.
That's right.
Read.
And the armies which were in heaven.
And the what?
And the armies which were in heaven.
Come on.
Followed him upon white horses.
Read.
Clothed in fine linen, white and clean.
Stop. What was What was the white horse's soldier George?
I'm gonna look them business chariot.
Okay, I was going to see where you was at, young man. I was going to see where you at. Okay. Give me Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5. Because see, an idiot says, see, he's coming on white horses. The white horse, what did we ride a horse? Horses was attached to a what?
Chariot.
There you go. You see what I mean? All praise. Not you, soldier. I'm talking about brothers. I know you know. Read what you got. Wisdom of Solomon 5.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, and verse 1.
Come on.
Then shall a righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him.
We are standing in boldness right now, teaching the word of God of them who afflict us. Come on.
And made no account of his labor.
They didn't take in that we was doing this thing for God to come back to this earth to take us home. Watch this.
And when they see it,
When they what?
when they see
When
it,
they see those chariots,
they shall be troubled.
they shall be what?
They shall be troubled.
They shall be what?
Troubled
Come on.
with terrible
We
fear.
they gonna be scared to death. Stop right there. Nope, I can't do it because it's in my stomach. Okay, come on.
And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
So they gonna be amazed. They gonna be like, he's in a chariot and he's black. They gonna be amazed at this salvation. Damn, it's a big black dude coming to save his people.
That's right.
It ain't no stringy blonde hair dude with a guitar talking about, come on, you want speakers or smoke a doogie? It's not him. Read.
So far beyond all that they look for.
See, because they look for Caesar Borgia to come back with his syphilis, with his incest having butt. They that's who they was looking for. Read.
And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this is he whom we have sometimes in derision,
Read.
and a proverb of reproach.
So they're going to be surprised when they see Christ come back, and his mannerism of how he's coming back, and the strangeness of his face and a pearl. Y'all not going to see Christ come back without a fringe on his body. He's going to have fringes on the bottom of his garment. And if you don't have fringes on and you're not in the right attire, you're going to get left here in America. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. Let's go for murder. But before this happens, guys, before this happens, something got to happen. Watch this. Give me Jeremiah 10:1.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, and verse 1.
Come on.
Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
You know he's talking to the Israelites, so he's not talking about everybody. And this is how we understand, because like Soldier George said, he's seen the chariots before, in the sky. And he was just as calm as he could be talking about it. He's just telling me, I see them. Hey, I see them chariots, Me, I don't know if I can be that calm. Like, no, but what I'm saying is, we know what they are. I'm just playing. We know what they are. So we're not going to be shocked. We're not going to be like, oh my God, what is that? See, we don't have to go to TMZ to do a show, get a show done to relax our spirit. Now Esau, what's going on is the so-called white man, right? He's starting to see in reality, hold on, they made all these damn movies about these UFOs coming and we getting destroyed and we going to be subdued and we going to be killed and hold on. It just clicked in their brain. Hold on, they was trying to tell us something. Hold on, they was giving us warning. Okay, what can we do then? Ain't nothing you can do. Watch this. Read.
Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of
He
Israel.
told the Israelites. Read.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Stop. Learning not the way of the heathen is listen to what the Bible says the chariots are, the so-called UFOs are, and listen to what the Bible says they are instead of listening to what their broadcasts say they are. Read. Watch this.
And be not dismayed
And don't be shocked.
at the signs of heaven.
Don't be shocked at seeing these things in heaven. Don't be shocked at the moon turning blood. Don't be shocked at the eclipse. Don't be shocked at none of these things, brothers and sisters. Because why? Give me Jeremiah. No, not Jeremiah. Joel. Hold on, I'm coming right back. Give me Joel. Let me get to it. I know it's 2. Start with 2 and 20. 30. What's wrong? Y'all call? Okay. Okay, that's cool. Soldier George. Move that one to over there and point it so this way.
Turn
Right?
back on that way.
Yeah, when she will, it won't go to it. Go ahead.
Joel chapter 2 and verse 27.
Uh-huh.
And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel,
Uh-huh.
and that I am the
No,
Lord.
Joel 2 and 29.
Joel chapter 2 and verse 29. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit.
Why I started right here is because I wanted y'all to understand that God's going to pull out his spirit over show him, Soldier Herman. Show him right there, please. God's going to pour out his spirit in these last days. Okay? Point it up this way, soldier. Yeah. You can put it on the floor.
On the floor.
Yes, sir. You just put it on the floor. Just move that. Just point it up here. There you go. There you go. All right. Yeah. Come on. Go ahead.
Verse 30. And I will show wonders in the heaven and in the earth, blood, fire, and pillars of smoke.
Oh no, go back to 29 because I missed my point. I was tripping. Go ahead.
Joel chapter 2 verse 29. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit.
See, everybody's teaching the word as it is written. We everybody understand that the clouds, the chariots are God's chariots. Everybody understands, right? So that's God pulling out his spirit upon the handmaids and the mans, right? The men and the how did it say it?
The servants and
the handmaids, right? The men and the women, right? So he says he's gonna pull out his spirit, so we understand what they are. Watch this, read.
And I will show wonders in the heavens.
So he said he's going to show the wonders in the heavens, those so-called flying saucers. It's a wonder in the heaven. Watch this, read.
And in the earth.
And in the earth, he's going to show it in the earth as well. Come on.
Blood and fire.
Blood and fire.
And pillars of smoke.
And pillars of smoke.
The sun shall be turned into darkness.
Uh-huh.
And the moon into blood.
Come on.
Before the great and terrible day of the Lord.
And see, the sun is going to be an eclipse. And the moon, you know how they say we have the blood moon? This is the biggest blood moon ever. The moon is going to be turned into blood. This is what it's talking about. The redness of the moon. Read. Come on.
And it shall come to pass.
It shall come to pass.
That whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord.
See, you know, our people get confused right there. See, brother, whosoever call on the name of the Lord. Ha, ha, ha. Read. Watch this.
Shall be delivered.
Shall be what?
Shall be delivered.
Come on.
For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance.
Hold on. Read it again. Read it again.
Okay. Joel 2 and verse 32. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion.
And what?
In Mount Zion.
It's the same thing as Acts. says the same thing because but it says ye men of Israel, but it says right here in Zion. What does Zion represent? Give me Zechariah chapter 9, verse 9, please. Watch this. Zechariah 9 and 9, please.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 9 and verse 9.
Come on.
Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion.
Hold on, what the Bible says?
Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion.
Read.
Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem.
See, the daughters of Zion are the daughter of who? Jerusalem. Come on.
Behold, thy king cometh unto thee.
Christ is coming.
He is just.
He's just.
And having salvation.
And he's going to save us.
Lowly, and riding upon an ass. And upon a colt, the foal of an ass.
Alright, so that's when Christ came into Jerusalem at that time. So now, let's go back. I just wanted to let you know that Zion was Jerusalem. Everybody get that now. So it's Israel. It's Israel. Alright? So now let's read it again.
Joel chapter 2 and verse 32. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion
and Jerusalem,
same
thing,
shall be deliverance. And the Lord has said, as the Lord has said, excuse me, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call.
So I just wanted to show y'all that that's the same. It's talking about the same thing. So now from there, go back to Revelations 19. And where we was at, sojourn. Where was we at? It was at 13?
13.
Come on.
14.
Was it 13 or 14?
No, we was at 15, excuse me.
No, we weren't at 15 yet. No. 14.
Okay. The book of Revelation, chapter 19 and verse 14.
Come on.
And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses.
Which was what? Chariots. Come on.
Clothed in fine linen, white and clean.
White and clean. So now our people is going to be shocked that they'll say all day that Christ is black, but do they truly believe it? No, they don't truly believe it. Because if they believed it, they would do it. We watched Judas and the Messiah. I watched it for the first time. And one thing I learned is this. You know, my man's what was his name? The Black Panther, the head one, the one that killed. What was his name? Fred Hampton. All right, Fred Hampton. I go with my man blanket quick. Fred Hampton had the right concept of helping his people, right? Fred Hampton had the right concept of helping his people. But where he went wrong was he wanted to bear arms against the police and threw out threatening messages to kill the what? Police. He went against the law of the land, which is in the what? Bible. And let you know that the Black Panthers had no clue on what the Bible was saying. But it didn't matter. Don't get it twisted. If you're a Panther lover, don't get it twisted, because I'm ready, you know, Martin Luther King as well. Martin Luther King did not bear arms. But he wanted to bring everybody together. Him and Fred Hampton. Him and Fred Hampton had the same agenda. Fred Hampton had the Rainbow Coalition, same as Martin Luther King had, right? Both of them got shot and killed by their slave master. Same way both of them got it in the head. They drove Fred Hampton up, and this was done by your neighborhood FBI, who drove this man up and killed. Murder! He was asleep. He couldn't wake up. They drove him. The little snitch drove him. But the difference is, why did God allow that to happen? Why? I'll show y'all something. God allowed it to happen because they was not doing God's laws. What's the difference between them and us? We do God's laws. Yes, we can be killed. But we won't die in vain.
That's right.
Because he's coming back to save. They're not going to get saved. He's coming back to save us that's doing God's laws. You best believe. You best believe. That's the difference. The way they infiltrated them was easy. They infiltrated them with a brother, a stinky ass brother. A stinky brother who went against, who hated his people because he could do 7 years in jail. He ended up killing himself. But he could do 7 years in jail. Bomb brother. If you when we was in the streets, when we was from the streets, it's a code, what's it called? A code of ethic. Yeah. You do the crime, you do the what? Do the time. Oh, bro, I can't go do 7 years. He killed his own people. But they thought they were stopping something. And the reason why I'm going here is letting y'all know. Every time that black folks do something towards freedom, something that they think is good to get free from where we the oppression that we're going through, right? Every time they think they do something, it ends up failing, guys. The reason why they foundation is sand. Their foundation is the same thing that this nation rules off of. Guns, politics, education of this world. You'll never win. You never win with it. Because the same people that you're going against in their education is the same people that is smarter than you in their education. You're not going to be smarter than them in their own ways. That's why they can't come. You know this, we on the corner. Who can come up against, thus says the Lord? Who can come up against his Bible? Who's going to be confounded when you teach the Bible the right way? Who's going to be confounded? Has anybody ever confounded us on the streets? You're damn right. Because we're going to teach it as it is written. Right. But if I go up and I try to go to one of their institutions, and I try to go to them with their knowledge, guess what's going to happen? They're going to beat me up with their knowledge. Why? Because it's their knowledge. They able to implement things of learning that even though you got some of our people that excels in their learning, but you ever notice they'll bring them up there, but they still in the background. You still ain't N-word to them. You just a high educated N-word. And they'll take those people's ideals and they'll steal them from them. And those people, how long they make they little 6 figures, 7 figures, they'll shut up and they'll be quiet. And they'll go home, baby. Yeah, he took my idea. Shut up. You got $1 million check. Okay, baby. Alrighty then. Let's get back to it. Alright. Where was I at? Before this happened, that's where I was at, right? Alright, give me Isaiah chapter 29, verse 6. So we went to the chariots and everything. We was talking about them. Let's go to Isaiah 29 and 6. Now, in the last days, this is what's going to happen, guys. Watch this.
We'll come about the book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 6.
Read.
Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts.
Hold on. We going to be what?
Visited of the Lord of hosts.
Come on.
With thunder and with earthquakes.
Hold on. So with thunders and with earthquakes. Hey, let me tell y'all something. I don't know if y'all know the definition of earthquakes, but earthquakes also go into volcano activities. Everybody understand that? Earthquakes also go into volcano eruptions. Alright? So we shall be visited by, read it again.
Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder.
With thunders.
And with earthquakes.
With earthquakes.
and great noise.
Earthquakes. I'm sorry, earthquakes. I said earthquake. I did that again. Damn. That's just me. That's how I talk. Earthquakes. I'm sorry. I say earthquakes. That's the way I talk. I'm Ebonics, okay? Read.
With earthquake.
Great
noise.
And what?
And great noise.
And great noise. Read.
With storms.
With what?
With storms.
With storms. Tsunamis. What else? Give me some big storms. Hurricanes. What else? Tornadoes. All these, God is visiting the earth in those chariots. Because they're able to blend in through all these what? Things. Because what definition did I give earlier? The first definition. Distractions. You notice through the storms, the earthquake, the hurricane, ain't nobody looking up in the earth. Really, you're looking at the cloud, and once it starts throwing real good, everybody's in the what? Everybody's under cover in the basement. So that's when those chariots is doing their thing. That makes sense to you? All right, watch this. Read.
With storm and tempest.
With storms and tempests.
And the flame of devouring fire.
And you know what? Just like those forest fires in California.
Burning out there now.
You're right. Just like that. When all that smoke is out there, you can't see nothing from my house. You can't see nothing. Guess what those chariots, those UFOs are doing? They right through her, checking out everything. God is, how many people we got now? Are we up to 100,000? Or we need 44 more thousand? It's almost time. I'm just saying. I'm not saying this what the number is. Everybody's like, what? I gotta get right. Get hold it right here. Hold him on. Boy, hey, but real talk, y'all better be thinking of it that way.
Yeah, that's right.
Because we don't really know what point we are right now. We at the end, guys. We at the end of the road. I guarantee you, Judah is almost there. Benjamin, Levi, Judah, Benjamin, Levi. Now the northern kingdom, you gotta have the Españols, okay, the Spanish people, right? You gotta get all the Mexicans in online. You gotta get all the Haitians, the Dominican Republicans, the Colombians, the Panamanians, the Brazilians. You gotta get all these people, because you gotta remember it's 12 out of all those tribes. Christ it says the church is visiting the earth, right? Give me Revelation 7. I'm gonna add this in here real quick. I hope this don't know y'all. Give me Revelation 7. And start with verse 5.
The book of Revelation, chapter 7 and verse 5.
Come on.
Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Nephilim were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000.
Nephilim is Nathalie, okay? And that Nephilim is Nathalie. Come on.
And of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin.
So that's that right there. You see that Joseph right there, right? That Joseph represents who? Ephraim. All praise to the Most High. Soldier, you're on point. Come on.
Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. And after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude.
A great what?
A great multitude.
Read.
Which no man could number.
Read.
Of all nations.
All nations, kindreds,
and people.
And
tongues.
And tongues.
Stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes.
Stop. How can you get white robes? We was talking about this, but that's funny because we was talking about that earlier. We was going through it. How do you get a white robe?
You have to be able to be transfigured.
No. No, yeah, you got it. No, I'm talking about how do you get a white robe? Not
keep the laws.
yes. Well, I thought I was got to hit with the microphone. Yes, you got it. Yes. You got to keep the law. So can any nation, can anybody get a white robe, Soldier Army?
No, sir.
You gotta be one of the 12 tribes of what?
Yeah.
All praise. Herb's on point. We like, you argue with me, brother. See that mic over there like this. Alright, all praises, man. So now, that's how you get the 12 tribes. So God visited us. Give me second Ezra chapter 11 and verse 36.
That's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 11 and verse 36. Then I heard a voice which said unto me, Look before thee, and consider the thing that thou seest.
Hold on. So he heard a voice that said, Look before me and consider the things that thou seest. Come on.
And I beheld, and lo, as it were a roaring lion chased out of the woods. And I saw that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle and said,
He sent out a man's voice unto the eagle and said what?
Hear thou, I will talk with thee.
Read.
And the highest shall say unto thee,
Come on.
Art not thou it that remaineth of the four beasts?
And so he's talking to the eagle. And if you got a dollar in your pocket, officer, please. Anybody got a dollar in their pocket? Officer. No.
You got 20?
I need the eagle. Is the eagle on the top?
It might be.
Let me see.
Let
Let me see.
me see the 20. Is it on the 20?
Is it on the 22? It might be on the 20. Alright. So you see that. You see the eagle. You see the eagle on there. Is it on there? On the back. Okay. Alright, yeah. But look on the back. Is it on the back there? Alright, here you go. Alright, so you see the eagle on the back of the dollar bill. Everybody just see that, right? Alright. I know we just a little confusion right there. We're gonna read it one more time just so we won't get you. In verse 37.
Verse 37. 2nd Ezra chapter 11 and verse 37.
Read.
And I beheld, and lo, as it were a roaring lion chased out of the wood. And I saw that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle.
So he sent a man's voice out unto the eagle and said what?
And said, Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee.
So God is talking to the eagles with a man's voice. Come on, that's us teaching out here in the streets.
That's right.
Watch this.
Art not thou it that remaineth of the four beasts?
So he's letting them know, ain't you the one remaineth of the four beasts? So he's giving them, he's saying, ain't you the one that remaineth of the four beasts? Come on.
Whom I made to reign in my world.
See, God is letting them know that the eagle is the fourth beast that he let reign in his world. Read it again, because it's beautiful. Read it again. Come on.
Art not thou it that remaineth of the four beasts?
So, you know the four beasts in the Bible, it goes into Daniel, right? Watch what he says to him. Watch this.
Whom I made to reign in my world.
Who I made to reign in my world. Come on.
That the end of their times might come through them.
See, because the end of time is going to come through that fourth beast, which is the eagle. Now, give me 2nd Ezra chapter 6, and I want verse 9. Start with verse 8.
The book of 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 8.
Come on.
And he said unto me.
And he said unto me what?
From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau.
Read.
For Esau is the end of the
Hold
world.
on, Esau's what?
Is the end of the world.
So the eagle is the end of the world. Come on.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
Jacob is the beginning of righteousness on the earth.
That's right.
Everybody got that? So let's go back. So Esau is the end of the world. Come on.
2 Ezra chapter 11 and verse 39. Art not thou it that remaineth of the four beasts,
Are not thou it that remaineth of the four beasts? Come on.
whom I made to reign in my world?
Who I made to reign in my world. Did they conquer us just because? No, God made them conquer us. Watch this. Give me Deuteronomy 28:48 on the back of that right there. I'm adding on like a mom right now. Keep on going. We're going to keep on adding on. Watch it. Deuteronomy 28:48, please, sir.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48.
Come on.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies,
The Bible said, therefore should I serve thy enemies.
which the Lord shall send against thee,
Come on.
in hunger,
And hunger.
and in thirst,
And thirst.
and in nakedness,
And nakedness.
and in want of all things.
Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
That's the same people he's talking about in 2 Ezra 13:39. Same people. So who sent them against us? The Lord. So now let's go and see what God says to Esau. 39 again.
2 Ezra chapter 11 and verse 39. Art not thou it that remaineth of the four beasts,
The eagle.
whom I have made to reign in my world,
Read.
that the end of their time might come through them?
So the last times, and that's why we went to 2 Ezra to show who was going to be at the end of the world. That's why we went to 2 Ezra 6 and 9 to show who's going to be at the end of the world. So read. Hold on. I'm sorry. Don't read no more. Give me Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. So God says that he allowed him to rule in his world. Watch this.
That's the book of Daniel, chapter 4 and verse 17.
Uh-huh.
This matter is by the decree of the watchers,
This is the man is by the decree of the watchers. Come on.
and the demand by the word of the Holy One,
Read.
to the intent,
To the what?
Come on, that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
Y'all see that thing right there? God ruleth in the kingdom of men. That's why he said he allowed them to reign. You know, our people be thinking that God is not there. Read it again. Come on, man. Come on.
Book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 17.
Read.
This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the Holy One,
Uh-huh.
to the intent
To the intent.
that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
God ruleth in the kingdom of men, brothers. God ruleth in the kingdom of men. Hold on. That's it. Let me see. I was going somewhere else. Let me get my head right. God ruleth in the kingdom of men. I was going to show something else. Let me see. God ruleth in the kingdom of men. I guess I'm gonna leave it alone. I can't think of it now. All right, give me Daniel chapter 2, verse 27.
The book of Daniel, chapter 2 and verse 27.
Watch this.
Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, the secret that which the king hath demanded cannot the wise men, the astrologers, the magicians, and the soothsayers show unto him, unto the king.
Stop. You remember I told y'all I was gonna show y'all in Daniel's about the scientists in that can you go back to that oracle for me, God? Officer, go back to that oracle for me and show me right there. Hold that right there where you at, soldier. Now, go ahead, read it.
Interviews will feature senators, military pilots, a Harvard scientist, former Pentagon officials, and two people who pushed the government to release information.
So they went to these people to get the information on what the flying saucers was, right? Now let's read Daniel's again. Watch this.
The book of Daniel, chapter 2 and verse 27. Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, the secret which the king hath demanded cannot the wise men, the astrologers, the magicians, the soothsayers show unto the king.
Come on.
But there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets.
See, there's a God in heaven that revealeth secrets. Come on.
And make it known to the king Nebuchadnezzar
Read.
what shall be in the latter days.
Come on.
Thy dream and the vision of thy head upon thy bed are these.
Read.
As for thee, O king, thy thoughts came into thy mind upon thy bed. What should come to pass hereafter? And he that revealeth secrets,
He that revealeth secrets, what?
make it known to thee what shall come to pass.
Read.
But as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have more than any living, but for their sake that shall make known the interpretation to the king, and that thou might know the thoughts of thy heart.
Come on.
Thou, O king, sawest and behold a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image head was of a fine gold.
So this image head was of a fine gold. Watch this.
His breast and his arms of silver.
Read.
His belly and his thighs of brass. His legs of iron. His feet part of iron and part of clay. Thou sawest till that stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and brake him to pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, because like the chaff of the summer threshing floor, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth.
So it's going to break it down. It's talking about nation conquering nation at that time. Watch this.
Verse 36. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power and strength and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell,
Hold on, read 37 again.
verse 37. Thou, O king, art a king of kings,
You're the king of kings.
for the God of heaven hath given thee the kingdom,
See, God of heaven that gave you the kingdom, power,
and strength, and glory.
and glory. God is doing that thing. Just like right now here in America, God has gave them all these things. Just like he did Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon. Watch this, read.
And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven hath he given into thy hand.
Read.
And hath made thee ruler over them all.
See, God makes you ruler over them all. You don't just conquer nations just because you want to conquer them. You're going to lose. God got to give you that power. That's why the Israelites can't get out of this curse. Because they think that they out of the curse, but y'all walking curse every day. You're the walking dead. Every day you walk through the streets, you can see that we are losing. But people don't like to see reality. Like people don't like to hear the truth. People don't like to see reality. Reality, we are lost nations without God. That's reality. We the bottom. We just like the other nations without God. Read.
And hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold. And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee.
See, he said he's letting her know after you, it's going to rise another king that was inferior to thee. Come on.
And another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron.
And see that now we go into the fourth kingdom. It shall be strong as iron. Read.
For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdues all things.
So it can, this fourth kingdom gonna break off. It's gonna subdue all things. Gonna be in all these nations.
And as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise.
It's gonna break in pieces and bruise. Right? We're not gonna read 41 because it's all I wanted was 40. So watch this real quick. Give me 2nd Ezra. Go back to verse Daniel chapter 2. No, 2nd Ezra chapter 2. 11 verse 40. I'm sorry.
The book of 2nd Ezra chapter 11 and verse 40.
Read.
And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were passed.
That's what we just got through talking about in the book of Daniel. The fourth beast is going to come. He's going to conquer everybody. Watch this. And that fourth beast is the eagle. The fourth beast is the eagle, which is the United States of America. Come on.
And had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wickedness.
Which what?
With much wicked oppression.
See, so this nation is going to have power over the world with much wicked oppression. Let me give you an example of that. You know why the Arabs are pissed off at the United States? Because they came over there and they got their women to wearing what? Pants. They got them over celebrating what? Christmas. Thanksgivings. That's the wicked oppression that they rule by. Because you got to accept their policies. Come along with their policies are their birthdays, their Christmases, their vaccines. All that comes along with their, exactly what you just said, with their policies. The rich get richer and the poor get what? How long the United States rule over everybody and money? And God don't ever let them fool you. Because in the Bible, it lets you know that they would never be broke. They will always be rich. Until the day Christ comes. The Bible tells that. I'm going to do a class on it. I got y'all. I know everybody wondering, well, what are you talking about? Look like we broke right now. We not broke. They just don't pay people. we ain't giving you nothing. We sitting over here over 20 trillion and we ain't gonna give you $1. When we owe you $1 million, you'll see it next century. We'll give it to you over a period of time. We'll give it to you. Everybody know that, right? Don't ever. How do you think they able to keep on giving stimulus check after stimulus? We print our own damn money. Well, they print their own damn money. I just live here. I'm just a slave. I got work for y'all. I got work for nipples. Anybody that print their own damn money, how you not fair with God's people, but you gonna be fair with money? Do that make sense? You know what? We only gonna print so much out this year. We're just gonna be broke. You're a damn lie. Print. I'm print, baby. All right, where was we at, officer? Verse 40. Finish up. Wicked oppression. Verse 40. Wicked oppression.
Ezra chapter 11 and verse 40. Wicked oppression, and so long time dwell he upon the earth with deceit.
See, so he dwell upon the earth with deceit upon the earth for a long time. A long time this man has dwelt on the earth with deceit. Let's see what one of their deceits is. Give me first Maccabees. Give me first Maccabees chapter 3 verse 48. I couldn't get it out. First Maccabees 3 and 48.
This is the book of First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 48.
Damn, it's rubbing off on you too, Herbert. I gotta get it straight. Really.
and laid open the book of the law.
So this is one of the wicked, one of the things that, one of the deceits that they did unto the whole world. Read it again.
And laid open the book of the law.
They laid open God's law.
Wherein the heathen.
Wherein the what?
Wherein the heathen.
Read.
Had sought to paint the likeness of their image.
Now, we read that scripture right there. Let's be honest and let's talk straight up, man to man in here. And man to woman in here. Let's talk straight up, guys. Let me ask y'all a question. Seriously. Look up here, guys. Look up here. All y'all. Women, look up here. Let me ask you a question. Do you see the Chinese man in the book? In our book? Do you see the Chinese man picture in our book as Christ? Do you see the Arab man in our book as Christ? What about the Napoleons? What about the Africans? The East Indians. What about the Hawaiians? Anybody can think about somebody else? What about the Philippines? Oh, it's only fit one person. Read it again, brother. You are watch it. It's only fit one person. Read it again.
First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 48.
Come on.
And laid open the book of the law.
So you laid open our Bible.
Wherein the heathen.
What?
Wherein the heathen.
Now that's going to let you know that God is saying the so-called white man is a heathen. Because they're the only ones that is in our Bible. Read.
Had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
Of their images. Of their images. Not ours. Their images. That's why when we learned the Bible, when we didn't know how to read it right, when we learned the Bible and we started reading right, and now we know that, Christ is, the angels, everybody's black. And those people is wicked according to the Bible. Y'all might think it's a racist thing. I know it's going through your head. Oh, that is so racist. No, it's not. Let me ask you a question. If you take my book, my name Mark Israel, I made a book. Got me and my wife covered on there, right? Me and my wife on the cover like this. Alright, so we on the cover. That's right. Me and my wife. And then we come back 2 weeks later, and it's two white people on there like this. And they say it's Mark Israel. And they're real Israel, right? What happens then? Is that racist? It's not racist for them to take our pictures and put theirs up? Is that not racist? Okay, that's the same thing they do with Christ. Same exact thing. So you can't really say somebody racist because they tell the truth. Truth hurts. People don't want to listen, but truth hurts. Which you got, so
we ought to all go out and dress up like Elvis one day and street preach. Let's see who's in bad. Be up at the mall.
Would you like a water? Yes. You get 2 of them. All right. Where was we at? Verse 40?
Yes, sir.
All right, give me Daniel chapter 1, verse 7.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 1 and verse 7. Unto whom the prince of the eunuchs gave names. And he gave them unto Daniel the name Belteshazzar, and Hananiah, and Shadrach, and Mishael, and Meshach, and Azariah, and Abednego. So
what did he do? He changed their what? He changed their name. He changed their name. So you see that? So why did he change their name? Why did he change their name? Read it again.
The book of Daniel, chapter 1, verse 7. Unto whom the prince of the eunuchs gave names. For he gave unto Daniel the name of Belteshazzar, and Hananiah, and Shadrach, and
Mishael. So they changed the names, right? I got that. Go to Daniel 7 and 7. I'm sorry.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 7. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast.
Hold on. So after this is where I meant to go to now. I'm sorry. In the night vision, I saw the fourth beast. Watch this.
dreadful and terrible.
So the beast was what?
Dreadful and terrible.
So the fourth beast, he's letting you know that he saw it was dreadful and terrible. Everybody got it? Everybody got it? We talking about the fourth beast. That's why we went to 2nd Ezra, right? 11, right? We were talking about the fourth beast. Watch this. Come on, read it.
And strong exceedingly.
Uh-huh.
And it had great iron teeth.
And he had great iron teeth.
It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with its feet, with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it.
Uh-huh.
And it had 10 horns.
So it was diverse from all the beasts before him, and he had 10 horns. Because this beast, as the other nations back in the days, the Romans, the Greeks, the Romans, the Spaniards, as the other nations back in those days, they did not mix people. They did not mix nations amongst them to fight other what? Nations. It was their own. They always, when the Greeks fought with the Greeks. The Greeks and the Romans fought with the what? The Romans. America fights with what? Everybody. Mixed multitude. So when you go back and you read Daniel like 2 and 41, it tells you that the feet was what is the feet? But what was the iron mixed with miry clay?
Right.
Yes. That the miry clay is talking about the other nations. And then to read their people is the iron, but the miry clay is the other nation, meaning they would not keep a form. They would not hold on strong to each other. You know what I mean? It won't mix. That's what it's saying. It won't mix. And you remember the one foreigner when they was on the base and he turned around and he shot so many people with the machine gun in the army. It was like, you remember that?
Is that Texas?
Texas, I think.
Was it Texas? I thought it was overseas. The one I'm talking about, I thought it was overseas. But it could have happened there too. But these things, as you can see, these things do happen. Because Esau is not one nation combining and going to war. They combined the nations and going to what? War. Going to war. I hope that makes sense to you. All right, read 7 again. Watch this.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 7. And after this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly.
He was strong exceedingly. Come on.
And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it.
Come on.
And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. And it had 10 horns.
And it 10 horns talking about the UN nation. Alright, the UN. Alright. So that's why it was diverse. Because this one here had companions. But it was a mixed nation. Watch this, read verse 8, come on.
Verse 8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things.
And a mouth what?
Mouth speaking great things.
And a mouth speaking great things. In Great Britain, I'm sorry. Go ahead, and a mouth speaking great things. I'm going to stop right there, because I don't want to go no farther. Alright, so this horn came up and his mouth was speaking a great thing. This is going into America. Alright, the great thing that he was speaking was that God is what? White. The great things he was speaking is God so loved the what? World. The great things he was speaking that everybody can get what? Saved. God don't hate nobody. These is the great things he was speaking. So watch this. Stay with me, guys. I might be off a little bit. Stay with me. Give me 2nd Ezra 12. I'm on verse 9.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 12 and verse 9.
Watch this.
For thou hast judged me worthy to show me the last times. And he said unto me, This is the interpretation of the vision.
Hold on. So this is the interpretation of the vision of the last time. Watch this.
Verse 11. The eagle.
The what?
The eagle.
We already explained the eagle over here. The eagle, what?
Whom thou sawest come up from the sea,
Read.
is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
Come on.
But it was not expounded unto him.
So it wasn't expounded unto him. So now I'm ready to explain it to you. The eagle, it was not expounded unto him. Come on.
Therefore now I declare it unto thee.
So now it's going to be declared unto them. Come on.
Behold, the days will come that there shall rise up a kingdom upon the earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it.
Stop. What happened? Why was America feared upon all the kingdoms before? Can anybody show me that? That's just a question. If you don't know, it's okay.
Atomic bomb.
What was it?
The atomic bomb.
Excuse me, y'all. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are right on point. Give me 1 second. Give me Revelation 13 and start with 12.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 12. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him. And
So he exercised all the powers of Rome. Watch this.
And causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast,
Which is the Romans.
whose deadly wound was healed.
You know, because when you look at it, the Romans had the what's those what they call them back then, the stadiums, what they call them back then, Coliseums. If you notice throughout our sport world, that's what y'all see, the Coliseums. That's what you see throughout our sports world is a circle with chairs around it, with people outside the chairs, and with somebody in the middle entertaining him. That's the same thing the Romans did back then. Read.
Whose deadly wound was healed. And he goeth and he doeth great wonders.
And you do what?
Great wonders.
Watch one of the great wonders, how we know that this is talking about America. Watch this.
So that he maketh fire come down from heaven.
He making fire come what?
Down from heaven.
Then he made fire come down from heaven. What is the heaven representing right there? The sky. He made fire come down from out of the sky. How? With a nuclear missile at that time, atomic bomb on their airplane. At that time, I'm gonna say it again, an atomic bomb on the airplane. So what happens is, I'm gonna show you what it means by heaven, brothers and sisters. You got the heaven, which is our sky. You got the heaven, which is up in space, and then you got the heaven where God what? Where He dwell at. Give me, you know what I want? Genesis 1 and 20, please.
The book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and the fowls that they may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven.
In the what?
Open firmament of heaven.
Do y'all see the birds in space? Do you see the birds flying in space? Why can't they fly in space, Soldier George?
So why can't they?
Why can't they, sir?
They weren't made to.
They weren't made, okay, they weren't made to. Help them out.
What's that in Proverbs? He said, who has ascended up in the heavens?
Mm-hmm.
They can't go up into heaven.
Why?
Because they're not celestial beings.
No.
They're from earth.
No. Why can't they go in heaven? Why can't they go into space? That's what the question was.
One, they might, no oxygen.
Say it again.
No oxygen.
And what else?
Why the temperature might kill them all.
He's on fire. It's no oxygen and they'll freeze to death.
Right.
After they get out of our atmosphere here in the earth, they'll freeze. You have to say music, please, and the birds don't do it today. Nah, but he'll die if he goes so far. Everybody understand that. Alright, the bird will die if he goes so far. Alright, so now read it again with that understanding.
Genesis chapter 1 and verse 20. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and the fowl that they may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven.
And so now we know that the earth, so we know that we're talking about the space right there in the sky, right? Everybody got that? Because we already established that the birds cannot go no higher than that space right there in the sky. Because if they go higher, what happened to them, Soldier Harmony? They will what?
They'll die.
They'll die. Why?
Because they're not, they're made from the earth.
Right? And there's no what? Upper.
No air.
And no, and it's too what? Cold. There you go. All right. So now let's go back. Let's go back.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 13. And he doeth great wonders.
And then you were great wonders. I'm sorry.
So that he maketh fire come down from heaven.
See,
on the earth.
the heaven, he making fire, talking about right there in space. The airplane was flying in the air. He was not all the way in space. He was in the what? Air. So he made fire come down from heaven. He's talking about the airplane flying. I hope that everybody understood that. Read. In the what?
In the sight of men.
In the sight of men. Come on.
And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth.
And so he deceived them that dwell on the earth. Read.
By the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
Come on.
Saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live.
See, he had power because he had the atomic what? Bomb. So he ruled the whole earth with his atomic what? Bomb at that time. But you ever notice now? Everybody got them. And they 10 times more powerful than back then. So he don't rule over the world. And that's why when we read Isaiah 14, watch this. Give me Isaiah chapter 14. I'm all the way off right here. Point 3. No. Point 3. Isaiah 14. And let me get that real quick, please. Start with verse 12.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 12.
Come on.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
How are you fallen from rulership, O Lucifer? Watch this.
Son of the morning.
Son of the morning. Come on.
How art thou cut down to the ground?
How you even with us now? Read.
Which did weaken the nations.
Which did weaken the nations. Come on.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
I'm going to ascend into the second heaven. Come on.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
In the second heaven.
I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
In the sides of the north. Come on. Here it goes.
I will ascend above the heights of the cloud.
I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. This is the first heaven. Read.
I will be like the Most High.
That's how they was able to drop that nuclear bomb. Everybody got that? All right. So now let's go back. Let's go back from there. From there, let's go back to 2nd Ezra 9. 12 and 11.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 12 and verse 11.
No, it's 13.
Verse 13. Behold, the days come that there shall rise up a kingdom upon the earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it.
That's why we showed you who they was right there. He was feared because of his nuclear what? Capability. He was the first one to make that atomic bomb. Alright, come on.
In the same shall 12 kings reign, one after another. Wherefore the second shall begin to reign, and they shall have more time than any of the 12.
Alright, stop right there. I only wanted 13. Read 13 again.
Verse 13. Behold, the days come that there shall rise up a kingdom upon the earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it.
It shall be feared before the kingdoms before it. So now this place right here, Rome was feared. The Greeks was feared at that time. The Romans was feared, right? The Europeans was feared. But America is feared way above. Why? Because they had the advantage over everybody bringing forth the first nuclear weapon. But everybody caught up with them, which is right now. And now they want to put sanctions on it. No, you can't do this. You can't. No. People saying no. Leave me alone. Nobody ain't do it with your butt. Leave me alone. No, son, you can't tell me what I can't make it. You made it. No. We got to make it. Hey, the other nations saying, I am not bringing a knife to a gunfight. They said, I'm not doing it. Everybody with me? All right, for America, be Proverbs 11:21. How many of y'all is learning something today? How many of y'all enjoying the class today? All praise the Most High. All praises. Come on.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 11, and verse 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished.
So I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. If you thinking you're gonna join to these people and these people is your best friend, you can't get away from these people again. Man, you can't get away from these people. And you feel like the Most High is gonna forgive you for, if you stay around these people, greedy again.
Proverbs 11, verse 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished.
Come on.
But the seed of the righteous shall be delivered.
You see that thing right there? Don't be a fool, guys, thinking that you're going to be with these people and you're going to live forever. I'm telling you not. I don't care which one y'all get mad, leave out of here. You're not going to make it. Leave out of here, you're going to burn up as soon as you get outside. It's hot anyway. I know that y'all thinking that's that Stockholm syndrome feeling you got. That's all it is. You want to save your slave master, but where was the same slave master saving you at when you was getting whooped, when you was getting hung, when you was getting mistreated, when our children went into school and they had to get spit on? Where was the slave master at? Slave master was right there spitting on with the children. Y'all gotta quit being ignorant, man.
That's right.
Keep on staying asleep if y'all want to, man. Keep staying asleep. I feel sorry for y'all, man. But I'm not gonna joke about this. I usually, I throw a little joke, and I'm not gonna tell you, man. Keep on being ignorant, man, and die with your peoples. That's your peoples, man. It's your mans. Die with your mans. But remember one thing, man, I'm telling you. Men's hearts is going to fall when they see, because that's you non-believers. When you think you can't come out of your sin, or when you think you can still hang around with people in sin, hey, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. When those missiles come, you're going to die of a heart attack right there. Why? Because you did what? You didn't want to listen to God. I'm just letting you know. Romans chapter 6 verse 1. Watch this. So it says, don't join hand in hand with the wicked shall not be unpunished. The wicked is not. You ain't gonna stop them. They can do anything they want to do for you. They can give you birthday parties. They can give you bridal showers. They can give you baby showers. They can wash your car. They can wash your house. They can make you feel special. I'm telling you, when you join hand in hand, you're going to die with them. Read what you got.
This is the book of Romans.
And I'm not racist at all. Not at all. Let me show you something. I grew up, I had best friends as white. A couple of white brothers, best friends when I grew up. But when God showed me his words, I'm sorry. Because I guarantee you, if a race war break out, Your white buddy ain't gonna be on your side.
Not at all.
Ain't no more black and white. Y'all dead. Read.
What verse is that?
Romans 6 and 1, sir.
The book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse 1.
Come on.
What shall we say then?
What shall we say here?
Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound?
See, some of y'all get caught up on your theology schools teachings. Y'all get caught up on what grace is. Let's see what grace is according to the Bible. Give me Acts chapter 20 and verse 32. Let's see what grace is. Hold on real quick. Let me get there. I know it's it, but I want to see something. Give me Isaiah 8:20 first, and then give me that. Give me Isaiah 8:20, and then give me that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 20.
Read.
To the law and to the testimony, that thou speakest not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
So God's laws is his word. So to the law and the testimony, they speak not according to this word, meaning the law. There is no life in them. Okay? So now I just wanted to get that clear. Now let's see what grace is. Read.
The book of Acts, chapter 20 and verse 32.
Read.
And now, brethren,
Now, brother,
I commend you to God
read.
and to the word of his grace.
To the law of his grace. That's your grace is through the law, brothers and sisters. It's not through you got time to be a sinner. The grace is through the law. Read it again.
And now, brethren, I commend you to God and to the word of his grace,
To the law of his grace.
which is able to build you up
Uh-huh.
and to give you an inheritance among all them that which are sanctified.
Which are cleansed through his word. That's the grace, brothers and sisters. Don't get it twisted. Let's go back to Romans.
The book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse 1.
Come on.
What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound?
No, because the law, you should not continue in sin because you're supposed to be doing the what? Law. That's your grace is the law. To get the law right is your grace. Don't let nobody fool you. Read.
God forbid.
He said, hell to the no. Read.
How shall we live that are dead to sin?
How shall we live that we are dead to sin? Because we're supposed to be dead to sin because through the grace, we're supposed to be learning God's what? Law. Read.
Let me read that again.
Come on.
How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein?
How should we be dead to sin? Meaning you're supposed to be doing God's what? Laws. So now watch this. Give me Romans 7 and 7. Come on.
The book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 7.
Read.
What shall we say then?
What shall we say then, brothers?
Is the law sin?
Is the what?
Is the law sin?
Read.
God forbid.
That's the hell to the no again. So God's law is not sin. Watch this.
Nay.
Hold on. Why do we get treated like hoodlums when we on the streets when God says his law is not sin? Why is everybody going crazy on the streets then? Oh, y'all teaching the law. Y'all teaching the law. But read it again. Let's see what God says.
What shall we say then?
What shall we say?
Is the law sin?
It's no.
God forbid.
No, it's not. Come on.
Nay, I had not known sin,
I would have known sin.
but by the law.
See, if you don't, you won't even know what sin is unless you understand the law. Read.
For I had not known lust, except the law had said, thou shalt not covet.
See, we don't even know what covenant is. Covenant is wanting something of somebody else's. If you don't know, now, let me ask you a question. A covenant is wanting something of somebody else, right? So he just said right here, I would have known lust. Meaning, a covenant means you lusting for somebody else's property, right? Right, let's see what God says about that. Watch this. Because y'all brothers and sisters don't understand what sin is. Give me Ecclesiastes 10. 10 in verse 10.
This is the book
No,
of
Ecclesiastes 10 and verse. I'm tripping. Ecclesiastes 10 and verse. Let me get it. I'm looking at 9.
the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10 and verse 9. Why is earth and ashes proud?
Read.
There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man.
There's nothing more wicked than a covetousness man. So don't come to me talking about, hey brother, I'm still in the truth. No, you're not. If you coveting, you are not in the truth. God said there ain't no more wicked man than you. Let's go back. Romans 6 and 2 again.
The book of Romans, chapter 6 and 2.
Read.
God forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer
You
therein?
can't live in sin no longer when you're supposed to be saved. Exodus chapter 32, verse 30. Exodus chapter 32, verse 30. Watch this.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 32 and verse 30.
Come on.
And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, We have sinned a great sin, and now I will go up into the Lord. Peradventure, I will make an atonement for your sin.
I'm going to make an atonement for your sin. Watch this.
And Moses returned unto the Lord and said, Oh, this people have sinned a great sin, and have made them gods of ghosts.
See, Moses went up to God. He said, man, these people have sinned a great sin. They are made gods. Go. Come on.
Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, blot me. I pray thee.
If thou not forgive their sins, and if not, block me, meaning he's telling you, I'd rather die. I'm going to die for their sins. Just take me, Lord. Breathe.
I pray thee out of thy book which thou hast written. And the Lord said unto Moses,
Hold on, read it again.
Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, blot me. I pray thee out of thy book which thou hast written.
See, that's a hell of a thing right there Moses said, because he's telling them to take him out of the book of life. Meaning he cannot get what? Saved. You see, that's loving your neighbor as you love your what? Self. Some of y'all don't even understand that. That's simple, man. We don't even understand that simple.
Laying down his life.
He's laying down his life for people who we know they ain't right, but Lord, help them get right. And that's why every day we go on these streets, every time we go on these streets, y'all need to look at this scripture. Because even though it seems like they're not listening, we laying down our lives just for one person to hear the word, man.
That's right.
Y'all understand that? That's what's real, man. From her, give me Revelation 22:18.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book.
Y'all notice when God says he's going to add to you, he said, I'm going to add to you the things that's in this book. I'm going to add to you the plagues. The plagues is in this book. Some of us going to get sick. That's normal, right? But what's some of the worst plagues that a person can get that you don't want? Think about it. We was talking about one earlier. Cancer. AIDS. Heart disease. What's another one? COVID.
You see down in Cuba and Haiti, they rioted, uprisings.
See what I mean? These things right here, man, you don't want none of these things. Watch this, 19.
Verse 19. And if any man shall take away from the words of this book of the prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book of life.
So God's going to take away your part out of the book of life. Watch this.
And out of the holy city.
Come on.
And from the things which are written in this book.
You know, my thing is this. I'm not gonna die for none of y'all in here if you ain't willing to die for God. I'm gonna lie to you. I would not die for none of y'all if y'all not willing to die for God. If y'all ain't willing to put y'all life down for God, I'm not putting my life down for you. I will leave you in a bad habit. Drop you quicker than a piece of cake. Duty or whatever you want, whatever's nasty in your hand. I'll drop you quicker than that. I ain't playing.
That's right.
Because you ain't right. If you ain't right, ain't no use of me being around you. Y'all got it, man. We as a people got to get our heads on right, man. We got to get our heads on right. Watch this. 2 Peter 2:18.
The book of 2 Peter, chapter 2, and verse 18. For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they allure through the lust of the flesh, through much wantonness. Those that were clean escape from them who live in error.
Read it again.
For when they speak great swelling words of vanity,
When they speak great swelling words of vanity,
they allure through the lust of the flesh, through much wantonness.
too much wanting. You know, people want somebody to want them. You know, women got the biggest thing on that. They always want that desire of somebody looking at them. They want that. That's one of the biggest things in the world with women. Look at me. They feel like something if somebody looked at them. Watch this. Read.
Those that were clean escaped from them.
No. What did it say?
Those that were clean escaped from them.
Because when you clean, you escape from holes. That's what God's telling you. Because that's the wantonness. Watch this. Read.
Who live in error.
Who live in what?
In error.
See, our people live in error. Every day our women look at our women. I'm on y'all women. Because every day I see women. You be at work, woman looking at you, she come in the door, she with her man, she looking at you. Women always want somebody to look at them all day long. Living in what? Error. Watch this, next verse.
While they promised them liberty.
Why they what?
While they promised them liberty.
So now we're going to go back into it. So why the other people, the other nations promised them liberty?
They themselves are the servants of corruption.
See, because you know, a person to come and tell you God loves everybody. But they themselves serves what? Corruption. You can do anything to get saved. They themselves serve corruption. How can somebody evil, where's the scripture at? How can you be evil, speak good things? That's one of my favorite scriptures. Give me Matthew 12. Watch this. This is Christ to Esau. Watch this. Matthew 12, 34.
The book of Matthew, chapter 12, and verse 34. O generations of vipers.
So Christ called them a generation of snakes.
How can ye, being evil,
How can you be evil?
speak good things?
How can you be evil, speak good things? How you gonna tell people how to get saved when you evil as hell? Read.
For out of the abundance of the heart,
Out of the abundance of the heart,
the mouth speaketh.
the mouth speaketh. So whatever's heavy on your heart, whatever's heavy on your mind, that's what I meant. Whatever's heavy on your mind, your mouth is going what? Speaking. So if you hate another nation, that's what you going what? Speak. See what I mean? So let's go back. 2 Peter, one more time, 19.
The book of 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 19. While they promised them liberty,
Why these nations promise you liberty, these nations promise you that you're going to get saved.
they themselves are the servants of corruption.
They cannot get saved themselves. Read.
For of whom a man is overcome,
If you overcome these nations,
of the same is he brought in bondage.
it's the same people are you brought in bondage. So if you it said, for whom a man is overcome, of the same is he brought in bondage. What? Let me ask you a question. We ruled in the dark ages, right? What happened to us after the dark ages? The same people that we chased off in the Caucasus Mountains, right? What happened?
We started intermingling with
No. They came back in what?
We came back in power.
They came back in power and they did what to us?
prisoner slavery.
But it's the same, but they conquered us. See what I mean? They conquered us. Let me see where else I go in. Keep reading.
Verse 20. For after they have escaped the pollutions of the world.
See, because our people, they escape the pollution of the world. When you first come into this truth, you wake up, brothers and sisters, right? You wake up, you get God's laws. And that's you escaping the pollution. Pollution is a what? Is a what? Give me a word, give me some definitions for pollutions.
Defiled.
It defiled. Anybody got something else? Pollutions. Dirty. Unclean. Anything else? You got something else?
Pollution.
Polluted. Okay, so disgusting things of the world, right? Alright. So they did escape the pollution of the world, meaning the sins of the world, guys. Watch this. They did escape the sins of the world
Through the knowledge of the Lord, of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
The knowledge adds it up to the law, according to Malachi 2 and 7. The knowledge adds up to the law. Read.
They are again entangled therein.
What it means to be entangled.
Snared.
Intertwined.
Taken back.
Okay. So they're back entangled, meaning they mixed back into the things that they used to what? The things they used to do. They entangled therein, come on.
And overcome.
The
latter end is worse with them than the beginning.
So when they go back into the world, their latter end is worse than the beginning. The beginning, they might have came in the word, and I was on the women. In the beginning, the woman might come in the world, and she changed. And she said, okay, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that no more. But what happens if she stays in the world? Now, where she did one thing a lot of, she's going to be doing a lot of things a lot of. Example. If she wasn't a freak when she came in the truth, now she's going to be a what? Freak. If she didn't do drugs when she came in the truth, now she's going to do what? See what I mean? These things can hit you. And you be thinking that you be thinking, nah, I ain't gonna do no drugs. Next thing you know, you got the pipe again. You don't work crackhead Betty. How did I become crackhead Betty? You got my God's laws. Read, watch this.
For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness.
See, it's been better for them if they just would not even came into this truth. It's better for you. Let me tell you something. I don't care what guy, what woman, whatever. When you come into this truth, you better know where you're going. you better know what you're going to be doing. Because it'll be better for you. Because if you come in this truth to play, if you come in this truth just to be seen, oh, I teach on the streets, or I got my fringes on, you better know what you're doing when you come in this truth. Because watch this verse right here. Read.
For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness
Did not know God's commandments.
than, after they have known it,
After they have known it,
to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them.
come on.
But it has happened unto them according to the true proverb.
See, this is a true proverb that happens. Watch this.
The dog is turned to his own vomit.
The dog is turned to his own vomit again. That's the nastiest thing that, the dog throw up and he regurgitate it back up and oh my God. That's the nastiest thing ever right there. Oh man. He throw up and he sucks it back up. Read it again.
But it happened unto them according to the true proverb. The dog is turned to his own vomit again.
He throws it up and then he eats it again. Read.
And the sow that was washed.
And the soul.
The sow. Cow.
Soul is a pig.
Okay.
And the soul.
And the sow that was washed to her wallowing in the mire.
In the mire. So that the pig, when the pig, you wash a pig, right? You wash a pig, what the pig gonna do? Go right back in the mud and wallow around in the mire. The same thing. Same thing. So just like a pig gets back dirty, so do a human gets back what? So when y'all do this truth, guys, y'all gotta make sure y'all ain't into anything. Because I'm telling you, you ain't gonna get saved no other way. Watch this. From her, give me 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and start with verse 14.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 14.
Just read on through, soldier. I'll tell you when to stop.
All right. Yes, sir. Thou hast showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy that thou shouldest receive my prayer. Show me now yet the interpretation of this dream. For as I conceived in mine understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. For they that are not left were in heaviness. Now understand I the things that are laid up in the latter days, which shall happen unto them and to those that are left behind. Therefore are they come into great perils and many necessities, like as these dreams declare. Yet it is easier for him that is in danger to come into these things than to pass away as a cloud out of the world, and not see the things that happen in the last days. And he answered unto me, and said, the interpretation of the vision shall I show you, and I will open unto thee the thing that thou hast required. Whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind, this is the interpretation. He that shall endure the peril in that time hath kept himself. They that have fallen in danger are such as have works and faith toward the Almighty. Know this therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that are dead. This is the meaning of the vision, whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea. The same is he whom God the highest hath kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creatures, and he shall order them that are left behind. And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came a blast of wind, and fire, and storm, and that he held neither sword nor instrument of war, but that the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him.
That is Christ. All right, that is Christ. Hold up real quick. What verse is that?
Verse 28.
All right. Did you finish?
This is the interpretation.
Stop right there. Now go back up to verse 13 and start with verse 9.
2 Ezra chapter 13 and verse 9. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instruments of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon the sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived.
All right, go back to where we was. 28, 29.
Okay, Second Peter chapter 2 and verse.
Second Ezra.
Excuse me. Okay, Second Ezra chapter 13 verse 29. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen, which I showed thee before, and then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest, a man ascending, as a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle that they have won against another. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them willing to come, and to overcome him by fighting. And he shall stand upon the top of Mount Zion, and Zion shall come and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. And this, my son, shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame. And he shall destroy them without labor, by the law which is like unto fire.
So he shall destroy them without labor, by the law which is like unto fire. Come on.
And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, which Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came them into another land. But they took counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river, for the Most High then showed signs for them, and helped still the flood.
You stop right there. So the Most High held signs for them, and he held still the flood, and they were passed over. Now watch this, because a lot of people, you know what? A lot of people be running their mouths on a lot of things. And you remember, I think we was dealing with a brother about 2 weeks ago when he was talking about how did they get over here in the water and all that. This is what they didn't understand. It says, give me Isaiah chapter 43. Give me Isaiah chapter 43, so verse 1, please. This is God right here, y'all. Watch this.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 43, and verse 1.
Read.
But now, thus saith the Lord that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee.
So he have redeemed thee.
I have called thee by thy name.
Come on.
Thou art mine. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee.
I will be with thee.
And through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee.
They shall not overflow thee. This is what happened when we came in. This is what happened in 2nd Ezra, when he held the waters still. Alright? It says, when thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee. and with the rivers, they should not overflow thee. Come on, and through the rivers they should not overflow thee. Come on.
When thou walkest through the fire, they shall not be burned. Read. Neither shall the flame kindle upon them.
That's the same thing that happened to Daniel, when they was in the well, not Daniel's, but the other ones.
In the lion's den.
Right, when they was, right, when they was in the fire. Alright? Thank you, soldier. So that right there is what happens. From there, give me Matthew chapter 8, verse 24 through 27. Watch this. Add on a little bit more to that. That's the Old Testament. Let's see what happens in the New Testament.
The book of Matthew, chapter 8, and verse 24.
Read.
And behold, there arose a great tempest in the sea.
So there arose a storm in the sea. Watch this.
Insomuch that the ship was covered with the waves.
So the waves was coming over the ship. Come on.
But he was asleep.
But Christ was asleep. Come on.
And his disciples came to him and awoke him, saying, Lord, save us. We perish.
Lord, save us. Our last we're going to perish. Watch this.
And he said unto them, Why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith?
He said, why are you fearful, O ye of little faith? Now, let me explain something to you. These men, they see the water coming. The water's coming over the ship. And any normal man would be spooked, right? Who you with? See what their belief was at that time? Who you with? If I'm with Christ and it's a hurricane coming, I'm going to sleep with Christ. I better let him go sleep. Because guess what? I know that he's not going to let us die. I know he ain't going to let us die. It's not written that we're going to die by a hurricane. So why am I? These are the things, you brothers, you must believe as it's written. You brothers and sisters. Read it again.
Matthew chapter 8, verse 24.
No, 25.
Verse 25. And his disciples came to him and awoke him, saying, Lord, save us, we perish. And he said unto them, Why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith? Then he arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm.
You see, he rebuked the wind and the seas, and it was a great calm. Read.
But the men marveled.
But they what?
Marveled.
They sit over like this. Oh, they over scratching their head. What the hell just happened? They marveled and said, what?
What manner of man is this?
What manner of man is this? This is their belief. Their belief was very what? Small. What manner of man is this?
That even the winds and the sea obey him.
See, they did not believe Christ was the Son of God at that time. They had a feeling, well, maybe he is. He has shows us the scriptures pretty good. But then that little what? A little doubt. And they what? In their mind. You see that thing right there? You got to be careful on that thing, guys. All right? From her, give me Psalm chapter 96, verse 13, please.
From the Psalms, chapter 96 and verse 13. Read. Before the Lord, for he cometh to judge the earth.
So before the Lord, for he cometh, before God cometh, before he cometh to judge the earth. Watch this.
He shall judge.
He shall what?
He shall judge the world.
See, this is what I'm telling y'all right now. He's judging you by his servants. Some of y'all is going to listen, and some of you going to perish because you don't want to listen. He's coming to judge, but before he comes, he's going to give you his laws. You're going to bear or forbear. Read.
From the top.
Yes, sir.
Before the Lord, for he cometh to judge the earth. He shall judge the world with righteousness.
He's going to judge the world with his laws. Read.
And the people with his truth.
And the people with his laws. From Job 1 and 1.
The book of Job, chapter 1 and verse 1.
You want to put it in the comment, right? We're going to start with the
There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job. And that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels, and 500 yokes of oxen, and 500 she-asses, and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the east. And his sons went and feasted in their house, every one his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned, and cursed God in their hearts. Thus did Job continually. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, Does Job fear God for naught? Hast thou not made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thy hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thine power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. That's down to verse 12.
Go ahead, keep on going.
And there was a day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house.
So now, God gave Satan permission to tempt Job. Everybody understand that part. Alright, so the devil was up in heaven talking to who? God. So the myth that the devil and God was fighting is just a myth. It's not real. The devil know that he cannot defeat God, because God made the what? He made the devil. Okay? So the devil was about to talk about, hey God, what you need me to do? The devil got a job, just like we got a what? Job. So now, God's giving Job, he's giving the devil permission to tempt Job. Here go the temptations right here. Now, don't look at Job's temptation. Look at y'all's temptation in this. Look what's happening in your life in these scriptures. Watch this, read.
Verse 14. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, The oxen were plowing, and the asses feeding beside them. And the Sabians fell upon them, and took them away. Yea, they have slain their servants with the edge of the sword, and I am only escaped alone to tell thee.
So that was the first thing. The oxen, his food, his ass, his foods ran away. And his servants was what? Killed. Right? That's one calamity. Now think about it. How many of y'all got maybe a car, or you got your job, or something that happened to you? Put yourself in this mindset. Watch this. Read the next one.
While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, The fire of God is fallen from heaven, and hath burned up the sheep.
So now now fire came from heaven and burnt up the sheep. Damn. He lost the oxen, and what he lose up top? The oxen and the what?
The
the
oxen and asses.
and the asses. Now he lose the sheep. Damn. Watch this.
And the servants and consumed them. And I only have escaped alone to tell you.
So he lost his servant. He lost more servants, right? That's an oh woe it's me moment right there.
That's right.
You notice his calamities has not stopped. When it started, one started, then the next one came right behind it. And the next one, watch this, watch the next one.
While he was yet speaking,
Look, he wasn't even done speaking. Watch what happens next.
there came also another and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels and have carried them away. Yea, the slain servants with the edge of the sword.
So they killed more servants and they took away his damn camels. How am I going to travel now? Read, watch this.
And I only have escaped alone to tell thee.
Read.
While he was yet speaking, there came another also, While he was yet speaking, there came also another,
What happened?
and said, thy sons and thy daughters.
Stop. Before he even got to his sons and the daughter, he had lost all his food. Now, he's going to tell him his damn children is dead. This is the example, brothers and sisters, that I'm giving you about when you're in this truth and you turn your back on God. Sometimes the small little arguments, small little things get you all out the spirit. People ain't heard. I'm going to stay at home. I don't want to be able. Look what y'all went through. Back to back to what? Back. It ain't over yet. Read, soldier.
While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness, and smote the four corners of the house. And it fell upon the young men, and they were dead.
And they was dead.
And I only am escaped alone to tell thee.
So his daughters and his kids and his sons was killed. Read.
And Job arose and rent his mantle, and shaved his head, and fell down upon the ground and worshipped.
So he tore his robe, and he tore his robe, and he shaved his head, and he fell down to the ground to worship. Read.
And said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither.
Read.
The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away.
You see what he said? The Lord gave me, and the Lord took it away. So also Job was very what? Wealthy. Once he lost all those animals, was he wealthy anymore? No. So God made him broke. So some of you brothers and sisters, y'all give up. Let me talk about myself for a minute. Let me talk about myself. You know I like doing that. Because y'all be offended. Y'all won't be here next week. I'll talk about y'all. I'm talking about myself. It's like I'll be like, God, why we ain't built yet? All these other camps teaching garbage. You teaching the right thing. Why we ain't blessed yet? Makes you feel like giving up, don't it? But you can't give up, man. Why? Why you can't give up? Somebody help me out. Why you can't give up?
We'll die if we don't.
We'll die? Okay. We're supposed to endure to the end. You got something else going out with us. I said, why do we? Where's right beside me? Why do I feel like I wanted to give up? I be like, man, God ain't blessed us, and we ain't grown like yet. Why, these other wicked camps is growing, we ain't growing. Why? Why keep doing it? You know what I mean?
You gotta bring forth your faith. You gotta keep the faith.
You see that? You gotta keep your faith. All right? You gotta keep your faith. Because even though we got a smaller body, right? But we learning how to deal with each other.
That's right.
When we learn how to deal with each other before we bring other people in, because if we bring other people in and we messed up, what is the other people going to be? See what I mean? That's the thing that keeps me ticking. That's all. I have those. Everybody gets those thoughts. Everything pounds on you like, man, Lord, what's going on? Job was seeing the same way. He got on the floor, prayed, Lord, what I do? Now, on top of that, y'all with me? Y'all ready? On top of that, watch what happens. Verse 8, 2 and 8.
Book of Job, chapter 2 and verse 8. And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes.
So in verse 7.
Verse 7. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sore boils.
So now Job, not only did he lose everybody, he had his boils. I hid those things, and they damn hurt. Read.
From the sole of his foot until his crown.
To his head. He had boils from his foot to his head. Read.
And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, Dost thou still retain thine integrity?
Now here comes the big mouth woman. Now she want to ask him, are you still going to be loyal to God? Read it again.
Then said his wife unto him, Dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die.
Now look what he got to listen to after he went through all this turmoil.
But he said unto her,
Hold on, so you moving too fast.
What?
After that, after he went through all that, he got boils, his kids has died. Here come the woman. Pop, 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 pop. Why did she give up so quick? Unbelief went strong. What else? You gotta remember, man, majority of the women,
She was wicked.
yeah, she could have been wicked. She had wicked thoughts, wicked ways. It could be. But you gotta remember, she did just lost. I don't think she was wicked because she just lost all her kids. You gotta remember that. A woman is the weaker what? Vessel. So when she lost all her kids, what happened? Her faith went down. Her belief went down. How is God going to allow me to lose all my children? That's a big test for a woman. When she loses that baby, man, that's a big test for her. She don't think God love her. But it ain't nothing but a test. That's why I keep on telling y'all, I forgot what class it was, but I told y'all before. Those babies ain't our babies. They're like God's babies. We just made them for him. He's going to do what he wants with his children. But we on this subject right here, the woman, she popped off. The reason why she popped off was, I don't want to do the laws no more. How can we still serve God? He just took all our children, all our money, all our servants. She was living real comfortable, right? Now she went from real comfortable to real broke. Now she got to do everything. Now she got to cook. She got to clean. She got to do straighten up. Ain't no more servants. And even if the ones that came back, they can't afford them no more. See what I mean? So she lost faith because she's not getting pampered no more. It's a trial every time we walk in this truth, guys. It's a trial. Real talk. Watch this. Read. Verse 9 again.
Verse 9. Then said his wife unto him, Dost thou still retain thine integrity? cursed God and died.
Watch this.
But he said unto her, Thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of God?
See, shall we receive good in the hand of God?
And shall we not receive evil?
Shall we not receive evil?
And all this, did not Job sin with his lips?
You know what? Because some of us would have been cussing out our wives after losing all our money, our children, got boils. I probably been cussing her butt out. But Job kept his patience. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all brothers, learn, and y'all sisters, learn patience. Just because things come on you back to back to back, don't mean that it's over. God's allowing that to happen to see where you at. The kingdom, you're not getting in the kingdom being a half-ass star. You got to be a full star to get in the kingdom of God. Like, what I mean is this. Like, NBA got, what's those bench players, right? And you got the intermediate players, the ones in the middle, right? You ain't going to be one of them getting in the kingdom. You gotta, I'm giving it to you in layman's terms. You gotta be a LeBron James, a Kobe Bryant, a Michael Jordan. You gotta be on their level to get into the kingdom of God. Let's go to football. You gotta be a Jerry Rice, a Joe Montana, Terry Bradshaw. You gotta be a star to get in the kingdom of God. You understand it? You're not getting in the kingdom of God as a lame Jane. Meaning, you ain't doing no works and you just walk in the kingdom and say, yay, I made it new. Everybody got that?